Wide awake while the world is sound asleep, and too afraid of what might show up while you're dreaming. Nobody sees you. Nobody will believe you. And every day you try to pick up all the pieces, all the memories that somehow never leave you. Nobody sees you. Nobody will believe you. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. 'Cause there's a kind of love that God only knows. There's a kind of love, there's a kind of love. You keep a cover over every single secret. So afraid if someone saw them they would leave. But somebody sees you. Somebody will never leave you. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. 'Cause there's a kind of love that God only knows. There's a kind of love, there's a kind of love. God only knows. There's a kind of love, there's a kind of love. For the lonely, for the ashamed, the misunderstood and the ones to blame. What if we could start over? We could start over. We could start over. Oh, for the lonely, for the ashamed, the misunderstood and the ones to blame. What if we could start over? We could start over. We could start over. 'Cause there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what to say about you. But God only knows the real you. 'Cause there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what to say about you. But God only knows the real you. 'Cause there's a kind of love that God only knows. There's a kind of love, there's a kind of love. God only knows. There's a kind of love, there's a kind of love. God only knows where to find you. God only knows how to break through. God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows.
Well, that's the point of this video. God only knows. Because the reality is, okay, last night when I did videos, yes, there was frustration in my voice. There was annoyance in my voice. But I have no hatred towards a man. I have no anything like that. I completely understand that he is where he is, and whatever's happened in his life has brought him to this point, and I'm not judging him because of that. My frustration is more to the point of the lack of teaching, the lack of the fact, and also the fact that my car is not there, so I couldn't actually go out and show him the stickers on the car saying, look, it says here, God doesn't care about what you did in the past, so why do you? I could have pointed to stickers talking about judging, talking about, yeah, when you judge others, you're judging yourself, and how you judge is how you be judged, right? So therefore, I could have pointed at, no, couldn't, because car is as it is, so yeah. There was frustration that, of course, people are going to, that when I'm sharing with them, they're going to think, who's this bloody idiot? Thinking he can share this with us. Thinking that he knows more than what we do. But of course, if God isn't backing me, and he hasn't right now. Well, the reality is that people don't see that, and if people don't see that, then people won't receive. And so there's a frustration there, saying, "Well, come on, you gave me all this stuff. Over the last 3 years, you give me this stuff. You want me to share it, and then when I start sharing it, I get all this, and you still want me to share it? I put the stickers on the car, then the car doesn't go through the MOT. So all the way through, it looks as if you're not backing me. And there's more and more reason for people not to want to believe." So, yeah, my frustration is more with that than it is with that man. Yes, I spoke a lot about what he did, because what he did is harmful to him. It's not harmful to me. Not in any way, shape or form. I know what happened. I know that... Well, put it this way. I know for a certainty I was not guilty of the charges that were put forward in court. I know that I could easily have defended myself and got through it as not guilty. I know that. But there wouldn't have been a point anyway, because my dogs had already been stolen by the SSPCA by that point. That happened 3 Christmases ago. 4, is it 4? No, 3. 2021. They stole my dogs. They came here on the 20th of December, giving me the paperwork saying that the ownership of the dogs will change over in whatever amount of days. I had that amount of time to appeal. But of course, all the offices for solicitors were closed at that time. Plus, I didn't have the money to go to them anyway. But the point of it is they were closed. They knew that. The lady that came here, giving me the paperwork, said she told her boss that that was not fair. But again, God wanted all that to happen. So therefore, was there any particular reason in saying, well, I can prove myself not guilty? Why? Dogs are gone. So by that point, I was beaten to a point where, yeah. And as I say, God said to me as I walked in that things aren't going to happen the way you thought today, sorry. So, yeah. Well, as I say. And a lot of people will say, well, God won't want you to say you're guilty when you're not. Or people to think you're guilty when you're not. Excuse me, you sure? Yeah, didn't they think he was guilty when he wasn't? Did God want that to happen? Yes. So, come on. Think about it for a second. But yeah, the reality is God only knows. God knows where we are. Yeah, so, I mean, I had a conversation with this man. During the conversation, he was saying, yes, we should always go to God first and then go to the pastor and whatever. Now, first of all, we go to God. We don't need to go to the pastor afterwards. If we go to God, we stick with God. We don't go to anyone else. But the reality is that then I was sort of saying, well, okay, you're going to go to God about it. And when he said, I don't need to. So, but you just said. But the reality is, come on. He's where he is. For 27 years, I couldn't see what I see now. For 27 years. I made some terrible blinking decisions during that time. So, yeah. Yeah. The reality is, even though, like in the last video, and it was true, the last video, what it said is true, I won't be going back to situations. If I know that that person is not at a point to receive, then I won't go back. Doesn't mean they can't come back in the future. It just means I won't be going back to them. Right? I won't be trying to talk to them about it. They can come and listen. And again, that's not against them, that's for me. As I said, the amount of time in a day, you just won't have enough. If what God has been giving me over the past 3 years, if it does at one point click and people understand that they need it, yeah, to say I'm going to be busy is an understatement of fact. So therefore I will not have the time to go back. And so therefore it's just me doing a video talking about that. It's just me saying, putting it there, saying I don't believe in the future I'll be going back because I won't have time to. That's the reality. It's not a case where I give up on people because, well, no, I can't. God didn't give up on me. But then again, yeah, I was just listening to another song, God of Wonders, and there's a bit in there saying, I think it says, Jesus, reveal your heart to me. And I know back in 2004, I was very, very serious about that. Whenever I heard that bit, I was in tears. I had tears coming down because I really wanted that. I was serious about that point. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I received eventually. But again, as I say, that's not because of me. That's not my design. That's how God designed me. I was that child rejected. From conception. Had an older brother, younger sister. The only one to be put into care. So rejected. And then, of course, when I get accepted by God, I'm saying I want all in. I don't want to muck around. Well, again, that's because of what happened then. It's not because what a wonderful decision maker I am. No. It took me 27 years. So, as I say, it's not a point of judging other people. The reality is, God only knows. And as I said before, the reality is, just because someone wasn't ready on, one day, it doesn't mean they won't be ready the next day. Or a day later. Because that was the case for me. I wasn't ready, then I was. And so, yeah. On YouTube, we're going to flag this one because it's got that song in it. But in the description, I will put it's for King and Country. I will put who's involved in the singing. And I will say written and designed by God. Because it was written and designed by God. God gave them the words. God gave them the way that the song should be presented. God did that. It wasn't them. It's like everything that's on my card. God gave me that. I didn't come up with it. It's not me saying I come up with that. No, God did. He put all of that in my mind. He put the questions that led to, the understanding of those things. Yeah, so it's like all this point about copyright. Sod off. Go take a run and jump. That is right. Go take a run and blinking jump. For King Country, they're a good group. They've done some good songs. They have indeed. They've done some good songs, and they've done songs that talk very much about what people need to hear now. And so that's why I've got them in the description of my videos, so they can, so people can hear them, because they're good songs, and they're songs that talk about what people need to be thinking about now. Yeah. Well, that is true. So, yeah. So there you go. And it is a beautiful song. And the way that song was done with that lady, singing. Beautiful, stunning woman. Great voice. She has the perfect voice to go with the brothers. She's from a group called Echosmith. And as I say, the arrangement, the way they've done it on that version, because obviously on their album they've got their version, which is purely them two. But as I say, that arrangement, brilliant, phenomenal. It sounds so much better. So be blessed. And yeah, the other video I did today talking about, ask God to help you to see things from other people's point of view. Certainly start with that point of view that God only knows. God knows what they've been through. God knows who they are. God knows what people say about them. So, yes. I wish you well. You take care. God bless. Have a fantastic day today. And, yeah, go in peace. With no judgment. And none of anything like that. You take care. Be a blessing, be blessed. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.